Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of A Reckless Book, Destroy All Monsters. Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips and Jacob Phillips doing the colouring. And this is another one of the Reckless book series. I think there's another one coming along fairly soon. And here's the earlier one, so I've just got a couple of these other ones. Friends of the Devil, and also just called Reckless. Just to confuse things, you've got a Reckless and Reckless book, and now another Reckless book. So let's just go through this. Just come out, 144 pages. Obviously, nice hardback here, and it's from Image Comics. You can see it's a fairly sizable book. Now it's just a standard sized comic book in terms of obviously dimensions, but obviously it's a nice thick book. Destroy All Monsters, a graphic novel. And the price is $24.99 in US. I think it was about 15 or so, obviously in the UK. And it's obviously still readily available. Only come out a couple of weeks ago. Nice quality book. I must admit, I was getting to the point where thinking, well, am I going to buy it? Because I'm not. I think maybe I'll just get the Criminal Volume Deluxe version, whatever, Volume 4. And I thought, well, maybe this might. However, I thoroughly enjoyed it. This was very, very enjoyable. Actually, I think it was the most enjoyable one so far. So I thought, well, okay. Hopefully the next one will be even better. But I really did enjoy this one. So let's just go through The Man in the Fire. So he does this quite often. He starts really, in a sense, with the end, which is an unusual way of doing it. Of course, films often do that as well. And you've got there the initial sort of got a fire obviously happening in the cinema. Sort of in many ways spoils it a bit. I'm thinking, oh no, now we know. And of course it goes on, and you've got the initial, quite similar in many ways to the start of the other ones, where he always gets bashed. There's always a scene where he obviously gets involved with a case, ends up getting mixed up with lots of people, and ends up getting bashed generally at the start of it. And then of course 6 months or whatever it is, years later, the Easter Parade, 1988, and you've got I like the way they always put the dates, so you can sort of fit where everything is. And you've got this story here where and it's really quite nice story. Straight away, I don't want to spoil too much about this, so I'm just going to show bits of it. The key character, I think, all the way through is Anna. Anna is brilliant. Ethan, yeah, he's obviously a main character, Reckless, but at the same time, I think personally it's more Anna's story, and Anna really comes across. There's some lovely artwork all the way through with Anna, and I warmed to the character. I must admit, more so than previous books. She really comes to the fore in this. So you got there, see, doing all the various things there. Obviously anarchy there, and you got obviously there with Ethan and looking at. But it's good. It's just good all the way through. You see the sort of growth of their relationship as well. And also when they because he always gets involved in the case. That's completely disconnected from with Anna. I mean, Anna is involved in these things. She's working with him. But it's just a normal case. And then suddenly, of course, what happens is there's always this completely evil scumbag that's involved. And lots of other people involved. Politics are involved and much, much more. But it's also his relationship where, of course, she goes off and she meets other people, and she has a complete separate life from his, which he sort of doesn't realise. He gets so wrapped up in that she should be there all the time, kind of thing. But it's great. I love the party as well, where he goes to this party, and so he sees her. But she goes out observing, and the artwork and the colouring is just absolutely brilliant. And I love the way that the case of the dirty diapers, those sort of things. She's got some of the best lines, I think, all the way through it. And she does appear quite a bit. I love that thing where he's doing the observation, checking out what's happening. But I don't want to spoil. Again, don't want to spoil the story. This is a really genuinely. Initially, that's how I thought. I'm not. But then within about 3 pages, I really got into the story and thought, you know what, this is pretty good. Suspicious activity. Again, the artwork, the colouring, everything. It works probably better than last. Occasionally I find that the artwork gets a bit rough at times. I'm thinking, but it does actually work in this. Other time I think it tipped over in a bit more just very random squiggles at times, doodles. That's what it looked like to me. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's what it looked like. But here, it didn't really feel that way. I think the artwork just felt more solid, got really together, and the colouring was just absolutely great. I love the, obviously with the hair and the lighting, it's just great all the way through. And Anna's, like I say, a very important character. And also you've got all the usual people that are involved. You know all the scumbags that are involved in this, and it's fascinating. And how he gets himself into trouble. That wouldn't be, of course, that's no different from any of the other ones. I love this bit. This is really impressive. Los Angeles, assume it is. And you got here sort of basically saying about how if you're separated by a certain road, that in a sense it's sort of, well, it's a completely different world. And in many ways, of course, that's like here. I mean, I've got friends that are just only a certain distance away, and I'm thinking, well, they're like 5,000 miles away sometimes, and you think, it's quite a distance. Shouldn't be, but it's a psychological thing where you suddenly think, oh, they're right over there, so you just don't consider, and you sort of separate, and that's part of this story as well. And it's good though, the sort of the character and things, just great. I love the surfing bits as well, and the record, like the mute. Well, the movies as well. With the movies, I love the way they get all the old movies. Are there shops with all these old movies where you can just pop in and find an old movie? Maybe in the States, or I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a shop, popped into a shop here and said, oh, you know what, I'll have that copy of that British film from the 1960s. Not certain that exists. But however, just brilliant. I say, brilliant artwork all the way through. I mean, look at that. Just that real stunning sort of the colour there. Just crackingly good colour. And that's always in quite often these books, is colour is the thing for me. Though weirdly, I love black and white as well. But I do, if you're going to have a colour, this is great colouring all the way through. Just makes it just fit perfectly. You know where you are with the colour. Just gives you the sort of what's happening, the tone for the story. I just think it's brilliant. I love her relationship with another character. And that's just fascinating, just the way she looks all the time and do all the reactions and the statements. So really quite true. And that's the thing about Ed Brubaker, I think, that's he just really captures that spirit of characters brilliantly. There's no sort of hiding away with Ed Brubaker. It's not sort of dumbed down. There is a sort of a real intensity, which I think how Anna got there. And it's just great. I love it. Absolutely. I'm really pleased I got this one. As ever, I love the afterword. Let's turn that page. I don't want to show that page. We've got the afterword, of course. Always love the afterword. That's one criticism, I think, of these collections. Probably one of the biggest criticisms I have is that when you got the comics, of course, you get these lovely long articles. And I would love to see 2 or 3 more sort of articles, like a film or something. You know, maybe one discussion about Easter Parade or something in the back. Whatever. Some of the films or some of the articles about various people, various things, Los Angeles itself. It would have been nice to have had a little bit more of the background at the back, instead of just all the pictures of all the books that they've done. And of course, there's the new one, The Ghost in You. That's obviously one coming out April. Apparently in April. Obviously April 2022. Get out of time. April 22. Crumbs. April 2022. Yes. Anyway, that's quite a way off at the moment. So you've got all these ones. But I wish they would put more articles instead of just these, because probably everyone that looks at this have probably got them all. I mean, I've got all of these, bar a few, if not in collections, of course. In the other collections, Kill or Be Killed, which I think is brilliant. Fatal, I love Fatal. And all the others. So I'm not certain why they put the pictures here. But however, they do. And of course, you've got the other ones there at the back as well. The Criminal. Now this one, Criminal 2, I still have not got. For some weird reason, that does not seem to be available. I don't know if it's come out as a deluxe edition again, because of course the Volume 2 deluxe one is in crazily expensive price at the moment. I don't know if there was supposed to be a new one, and I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Maybe it'll come out. But anyway, you got those ones. Pulp was excellent. I love that. And actually, all those have been brilliant. And of course, you've got the other ones there. But I would have preferred maybe some more articles at the back. And that's the thing I love about the comics. The comics are great. When you get the comics, you get that 5 or 6 pages at the back where you've got Ed Brubaker talking about what his latest films or something, and that sort of stuff, as well as the sort of beautiful drawings at the back. Love that. And that would have been nice. Maybe some pin-up pages of all the characters, Anna and Ethan himself would have been great. And the villains involved in this as well. And the politicians and whatever. All the characters. And this is obviously Jacob Phillips. You've got all the... Let's just turn that around so you can see the biographies at the back, which I think is always good. I love biographies at the back as well. Biographies are always great. So you can just obviously find out a bit more about the first people there. And, well, praise for the Reckless series. Well, this is brilliant. This, for me, was the best one so far. I enjoyed the other ones, but this one has certainly boosted my enthusiasm up for the Reckless book series. And I assume, obviously, there may be many, many more. Well, I loved it, so I would recommend this. Definitely rush out and get this copy. Of course, I assume at some point there will be a collection of Criminal Book Deluxe, Book 4 or something. And of course, they'll probably include this, and I'll be going, or maybe a deluxe edition of Recklesses or something. And I'll think, maybe I shouldn't have bought all these. That's the way things are with comic books. So, totally recommended. Destroy All Monsters. Definitely get it very quickly. Brilliant. If you love crime drama, crime comics, this is just a masterpiece. Or just comics in general. I think this is just great. Wish all comics were as good as this.